Hello, brothers and sisters. My name is Gordon Tapper, and I'm the executive producer of the show you're about to see. This show has quality entertainment, reggae, soca, gospel, Afrobeat, and it has information by some of the top healthcare professionals in the Caribbean. They will tell you about the COVID-19 pandemic and how we can best avoid getting it. This show should have been screened a few weeks ago, but because of some technical issues, it was delayed. Now, some of the statistics you will hear are outdated. However, the facts are not. They remain very relevant. Many people are now saying that we have beaten COVID and that we can go back to living our lives the way we used to do before. I'm afraid that may not be the case. We all want to go back and have some fun and enjoy our lives, but we must be vigilant because COVID will remain with us for a very long time. Listen to what the health professionals have to say on the show, and please use this information to help protect yourselves, your family, and your country.
Welcome everyone in Jamaica, the Caribbean, Africa, and all around the world. Wherever you happen to be viewing this show from tonight, big up you and thank you so much for being here. I am your Queen Diva, Miss Kitty, and I'll be your hostess for tonight. Now, we're all delighted to be bringing you a program of top quality entertainment and information critical to ensuring the health and well-being of all of us during these perilous times of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, we're not here to pressure anyone into doing anything that they don't feel is right for them. We will be addressing the concerns that have been expressed by people about the vaccines, not just in Jamaica, but globally as well. We all want what is best for ourselves, our families, and friends, as well as our country. Now, it's going to be an awesome night, so I want you to call somebody, tell them to tune in, turn on, log on, listen in, because you don't want to miss it at all. Now, I'm an attorney at law, broadcaster, and entertainer. I'm neither scientist nor medical doctor, so I will leave it to them to talk about the what, the why, and the how. We have some good entertainment lined up for you tonight, including some young and dynamic performers from the motherland, Africa, Mama Africa. I want you to sit back, enjoy, and listen with an open mind. But first, to get us started, we're going to kick it off with some sounds from a young man from Sierra Leone by the name of Menace De General, more affectionately called MDG. He has a special message for us of love, caring for each other in these calamitous times. To get things rolling, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make some noise for MDG!
As I woke up this morning, I asked myself, what are the valuable lessons that I can learn from what's going on in the world today? We have a deadly virus putting everything on pause and dispersing throughout the globe like a wildfire. Sources say it came from China. Some say it was created in the lab. Some say it's about the New World Order, while others ponder about the 5G propaganda. Meanwhile, quarantine, lockdown, social distancing, no jobs and no schools, anxiety on elevation while solitude is on new adaptation. Misinformation and confusion leaves a thin line between facts and misconception. Now, I'm no expert, so I'm not here to tell you about what's right or what's wrong. I'm just here to tell you to hold on, stay in and stay safe. Like MJ, put on your mask and your gloves and let's beat it. Soon we shall overcome and celebrate better days ahead. I just want to take this time to say RIP to those that we've lost during this battle and speedy recovery to those on ventilators. Now, for the sake of remedy, please allow me to paint you a brighter picture. Please let me share with you the positive side of the agony that we have been enduring. Ever since the world shut down, we've had less pollution and nature has been flourishing. Ever since Corona started, many nations at war have ceased fire. Now imagine the peace it brought to the heart of children in war zones all across the world. Yemen, South Sudan, Syria, Cameroon, and many other places. Now, due to a virus that doesn't discriminate, we are slowly realizing that there's only one race, and that's the human race. We've come together to fight. We've expressed solidarity. We've expressed humanity. We've cried. We've laughed while doing fun challenges. The true heroes are doctors and nurses. We've noticed our differences, black or white, Buddhist or atheist, harmony in different languages, religion and science. Yes, we can all coexist and express love, cause it's the answer. It's the other way to go. It's the only thing that brings us. It's a beautiful thing that heals us. It's a wonderful thing that takes us higher, brings us closer. Don't deny it, just embrace it. Express it, express it, express it. One love, eh. Let it flow across the globe, eh. One love, eh. Let it flow across the globe, eh. One love. Now when we do get back outside to celebrate freedom, remember to be grateful. Remember those stuck in hospital beds still praying for a miracle. Remember to appreciate nature and remember to thank God for oxygen. Now when we do go back to school, remember there are kids in other parts of the world who haven't seen a classroom in years due to war or poverty. Now when we do get back to normal, take it easy. Life is not a race. The most important thing is not money. The most important thing is the memories that we create while living. So cherish them. Be compassionate. Treat others with respect. Help someone in need if you can. Now when we do get back to normal, remember to salute a healthcare worker because they are the unsung heroes. Thank you. I'm gonna be a better me and celebrate life. And love is what I'm gonna use to elevate. I promise I'ma shed away the negative weight. World peace, that's all I wanna propagate. Everything I took for granted, I'ma try to embrace. I wanna shoot our generation into better days. It shouldn't matter if you look like me or talk like me. We on the same track, it's a human race. I'm gonna be a better me and celebrate life. And love is what I'm gonna use to elevate. I promise I'ma shed away the negative weight. World peace, that's all I wanna propagate. Everything I took for granted, I'ma try to embrace. I wanna shoot our generation into better days. It shouldn't matter if you look like me or talk like me. We on the same track, it's a human race. It's the only way to go. It's the only thing that brings us. It's a beautiful thing that heals us. It's a wonderful thing that takes us higher, brings us closer. Don't deny it, just embrace it. Express it, express it, express it. One love, eh. Let it flow across the globe, eh. One love, eh. Let it flow across the globe, eh. One love.
Now, thank you so very much for that very exhilarating performance, MDG. Now, guys, did y'all know that hundreds of the Maroons were taken from Jamaica to Nova Scotia, Canada in the 1790s, when the British could not subjugate them here in Jamaica? Yes, my love. When they became too hot to handle in Canada, the same British shipped them back to Sierra Leone. Yes, it's a fact. Some of our roots are there in Sierra Leone. Yes, not only did we come out of Africa, but we sent back a lot of our Jamaicans and Jamaican spirit back to the motherland. MDG, big up yourself on that great performance. Now, I love to dance and I love a good time. I also love to learn, and so I'm all about edutainment. But let me give you a little bit more of musical entertainment and keep the musical vibes going by bringing Jamaica's own Fab Five to play one of the songs that has made them Jamaica's top party band for several decades now. Fab Five, you know me love when I like cook food, so take it away.
Well, the girl them said them come to cool down now when time hot. Well, right now I come to tell them say, many come to hot up nerves. We love to see the ladies already in the plaza, in a uptown and downtown, profiling all around town. In a minute, slim girl, hot girl in a minute. I said Jamaican girls of a minute, and all the nice girls of a minute. Look on all them pretty girls in them mini pants. Look how them body healthy and how them looking sexy in them mini. A slim girl, fat girl in a mini. We see the knock-knee girl in a mini, and the barefoot girl in a mini. Come on. Mini are the thing where I carry the swing. Some man say them a love me, but them watching on the people. Mini are the thing where I carry the swing. Some man say them a love me, but them still looking up. Mini passe, looking healthy. I carry the swing. Some man say them a love it, but they watching on the people. No many of the thing. I carry the swing. Some man say them a love it, but them still looking. Bobby say him don't like it, and for him woman can wear it. But when you go on fashion show, him see him one catch up in a pound of clothes. I see him girl, fat girl in a mini. We see the long foot girl in a mini, and the bow foot girl in a mini. Come down. Mini are the thing where you carry the swing. Some man say them a love it, but them watching on the people. Mini are the thing where you carry the swing. Some man say them a love it, but them still looking. Mini passe, looking healthy. Mini passe, you look irate. Mini passe, looking sexy. Mini passe, I wanna ready. Mini are the thing, I carry the swing. Some man say them a love it, but they watching on the people. Now mini are the thing, I carry the swing. Some man say them a love it, but them still looking. Give me Bridget Johnny, I ride home pan them ninja. And I see her pan a pretty little daughter, and run up in the back of a master. The mini, I see him girl, fat girl in a mini. I see the long foot girl in a mini. You see the bow foot girl in a mini. Cause mini are the thing where you carry the swing. No man say them a love it, but them watching on a people. In a mini are the thing, I carry the swing. No man say them a love it, but them still looking. Mini passe, looking healthy. Mini passe, you look irate. Mini passe, you look sexy. Mini passe, I hold you ready. Mini are the thing where you carry the swing. So man say them a love it, but them watching on a people. Mini are the thing, I carry the swing. So man say them a love it, but them still looking. Go. One come for the mini passe. Two come for the mini passe. Come. Three come for the mini passe. Come. No comfy, who no love it.
And you say mini, slim girl, fat girl in a mini. Whoa, mini. All the knock-knee girls in a mini. Knock-knee girls don't feel no way. Big ups to all the fluffy divas. I told you Fab Five was going to be great, and I know they got you guys moving. We can always depend on Fab Five to get our feet moving and get us in the groove. Now, we will definitely be hearing more of them later. So if you enjoyed that performance, don't move a muscle. Don't go nowhere. However, it is now time to get down to some serious business, turn the beat around, and get some pertinent information that can definitely help us in these times. Now, Jamaica and Jamaicans have been known to be somewhat rebellious, okay? Have a rebellious streak. But generally, you know, we don't like to be told what to do, where to go, and when to do. That's kind of in our DNA. But we are reasonable and we are sensible, and we're going to be using our sense and sensibility. Now, some of the most profound words of wisdom have come straight out of the mouths of our people, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and beyond. Now, we're at a pivotal point in the country today because of COVID-19. Some people support taking the vaccine, others don't, and some may also have questions and have not yet made up their minds. We have to decide what direction we're taking things. We have a dilemma because we need to defeat Corona together and get back to what we deem a normal way of life. And even if we don't get back to what it was before, we have to learn to live with Corona as best we can while protecting ourselves and our brothers and sisters. If everyone is pushing the broke down truck from behind, they can actually move it forward. But if everybody are pushing different directions, opposite directions, well, it's kind of futile. There will be no progress. I long to sometimes just go away with the mask and, you know, not soil up my lipstick or mess up my makeup, and just being able to breathe. And of course, if you're in a crowd and you sneeze or cough, people are not giving you that the look like, hey, you have something. We may never really get back to 100% to our previous lifestyle, but we can enjoy life again as we pull together and work together for the benefit of each other, okay? Anyway, I'll repeat, I'm not a scientist nor a health specialist, and so I will leave that to them to talk about COVID-19 and related issues. So first, I will call on a highly respected professor, and trust me, him know him thing. He is Professor Peter Figueroa, from the University of the West Indies to start us off with information that we can all use.
Good evening. Warm greetings to all. I want to share a few words about the COVID pandemic that has disrupted our lives and livelihoods, and it has kept our children out of school, disrupting their education significantly. Globally, nearly 400 million cases reported of COVID and 5.6 million deaths of COVID across the world. And this is an underestimate of the true number of cases and deaths. In Jamaica, we have over 125,000 reported cases of COVID and over 2,600 deaths. In the US alone, over 800,000 deaths. This is a serious disease, and we have to take this pandemic seriously. Now, some younger persons tend to dismiss this because they or their friends have got COVID and they've got better. And the truth is, thankfully, the majority of people who get COVID do recover and get well. But even among young people, for instance, in Jamaica, persons under the age of 50, 5 out of every 1,000 persons who get COVID actually die from it. And we cannot predict which young people who get COVID, a child, a teenager, or a young adult, is going to die from it. So it is a serious disease. And also, we have to recognize that among older people, the case fatality rates, deaths from COVID, are much greater. So if you look at the Jamaican data, we know now that persons aged 50 to 59, 2 to 3 persons out of every 100 who get COVID are going to die. If you're 60 to 69, it's 6 out of every 100. If you're over the age of 70, it's probably 13 out of every 100 persons who are going to die. So this is a serious disease affecting especially the elderly and persons who have any underlying illness, what we call comorbidities. But the concern is not only deaths. Persons who are hospitalized from COVID, as many as 1 out of 3 of them develop a condition called long COVID. Months after they've recovered, they continue to have symptoms, fatigue, cough, shortness of breath, and something called brain fog, where their memory is not as good, their thinking is not as good. And even among persons who are not admitted to hospital, many of them have these symptoms even after they've recovered. So this is a condition to be taken seriously. What is more, this is a respiratory infection and it spreads rapidly and readily. When someone is infected with COVID, it usually takes 3 to 5 days before they develop symptoms, before they feel ill. What many people don't realize is in the 2 days before you develop any symptoms, you are highly infectious to other persons. And remember also, some people get infected with COVID and never know it because they don't get any symptoms. So persons can be infected and at the same time are infectious to others and they don't know it. So that brings out the importance of the public health measures, the protocols, what we call the protocols. Wearing a mask, it helps to reduce spreading the infection from one person to another, and it helps to protect you from catching it from someone else who may not know that they have COVID. So it is important wearing a mask, washing your hands, maintaining distance, physical distance, especially in crowded spaces indoors where there's not enough adequate ventilation. So those measures are very important. They help to protect us from becoming infected, and it also helps to reduce the amount of spread. And this is how we help to protect those who are more at risk, because it means that we help to protect elderly persons by wearing our mask and following the protocols. And the elderly persons can also stay at home more, and people can work at home. Those are all important measures. We know it is a challenge. It's now 2 years we're into this pandemic, so it is difficult for people to sustain these measures, but we can encourage and help each other to sustain these measures. But perhaps the most important measure to protect ourselves from COVID is the COVID vaccine. Over 10 billion doses have now been given globally. So 62% of the population has been vaccinated. However, in poorer countries, including Africa, only 10% of the population has been vaccinated, but approximately over 4 billion people have now been vaccinated globally. And the vaccines have proven to be safe and effective. They're not a magic bullet, but they do protect people from severe disease, hospitalization, and death. Now, you can still get infected when you have the vaccine. That's why they're not a magic bullet. But once the vaccine was rolled out early last year in 2021, the number of cases began to decline, the number of hospitalizations and deaths began to decline. And when we had the Delta surge in the middle of last year, the middle and late last year, what was happening is we were seeing a lot of cases caused by the Delta variant. We were not seeing the same number of deaths in those countries where you had over 50% of the people vaccinated. CDC estimates that in the United States, vaccination has prevented about 1 million deaths and 10 million hospitalizations. That is in the US alone. In Jamaica, over 95% of cases that end up in hospital are unvaccinated. Unfortunately, our vaccination coverage is far too low. It's under 25%, 1 out of 4. And the elderly, over 50% of them still need to be vaccinated. We've never been in this situation before where we are lagging so badly. Only Haiti has lower coverage than us in the Americas. So we definitely can do better by making it easier to get the vaccine, by giving many more private doctors the vaccine so that they can give it to their patients. And of course, by addressing the concerns, the questions and anxieties that people have about the vaccine. And I am going to say something more about that to try and address those concerns. Thank you.
Hello, friends. I am Lion Clifton Reed of the Mandeville Lions Club, located in the parish of Manchester, Jamaica, West Indies. The Lions Club of Mandeville is very pleased to be involved in this very worthwhile and timely project designed to provide information and answer concerns related to the management of the COVID-19 pandemic in Jamaica, the wider Caribbean, and Africa. As a service club with an enviable 45 years of caring for the people of Manchester, we have seen the devastating impact on individuals and families throughout the various communities. The loss of lives and livelihoods, the immeasurable disruption in the education and the socialization of our children, the huge negative impact on human connection, so very necessary in these difficult times are creating untold suffering on our people. This is why we have tried to play our part through donations of critical pieces of equipment to the local hospitals to improve their capabilities to cope with the overwhelming demands of this pandemic. It is why we have delivered thousands of masks to the police and hundreds of food packages to needy families in the communities. It is so important that we support the overly burdened nurses and doctors on the front line. To that end, I, on behalf of the Lions Club of Mandeville, would like to encourage you to protect yourselves, your families, and your neighbors by following the COVID-19 management protocols. Don't hesitate, vaccinate.
My name is Clifford. I'm the president of the Jamaica Hotel Association. In the hotel sector, we employ different strategies to ensure that our people got vaccinated. In fact, what we did at the beginning, we formed an alliance with the private sector organization, with PSVI, the Private Sector Vaccine Initiative, and we actually brought vaccine to the people, because we realized that they were spending so much time at Ministry of Health facilities. So we convinced government to set up more central systems, which they did. And even so, people were wasting a big amount of time in those facilities. So we actually decided as a sector to sponsor the vaccination of our staff. So we brought in PSVI, they brought in public health, nurses who were not assigned to hospitals, so that we did not have competition between hospital and private. And as a result, we were able to vaccinate almost 70% in terms of vaccinated team members. And that signaled a sense of confidence to the tourists coming in, and of course, to our employees, and by extension to the communities around us.
Now, my people, take this serious. It is time for us to get in some more music. So we just got some education, we just got some information, and now I feel like I want to get into some more music. I'm going to stay with Sierra Leone for a minute and bring this very exciting young female MC who goes by the name Swadu. One of her wishes is to perform live in Jamaica on stage right here in the land of good, wood, and water. Please insert your commas. Swadu, let's see you, honey.
Hey, okay. Stash your baby. Hey,
it's Jewies on the beat.
Hey, where I'm from, I put on. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Hey, we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you with. Hey, where I'm from, I put on. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Hey, we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you with. Hey, yo, if you ain't hip, Africa for real, it's where is that? Queen of my queendom, you already know that's the fact. Free tone picking Eastern men, just to be exact. Keep a couple milli full of bands, got to buy the stack. Don't check for me, cause you ain't gon' find me. Gotta check for me, yeah, that money won't buy me. Ain't gauge low, so you better not try me. Bit of class, bit of sass, whole lot of grimy. Like my style, I hear they say I'm pretty. Drop it low, I am physically fit. So much love I put on for my city. Make them know me not born free to titty. I got the goons and I got the galleys with me. I love the vibe and I like the way it suits me. King Tom Bobo, I like the way you teach me. Freetown is where I'm at. If you wanna meet, hey, where I'm from, Freetown, Aberdeen. Freetown. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Freetown, we legit, we hella lit. Freetown, represent who you with. Hey, where I'm from, Aberdeen. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Hey, we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you with. Left them making bets by the lyrics and the swagger. Done by the mic, switch up hip hop and raga. Make they all enjoy, then they begin for they stagger. Boys then go crazy, the girls then go gaga. Fit it to the breast, we close then they fit ya. Everything on point, we chick then two knits ya. Rollie on the wrist, then Gucci on the feet ya. Me and you not the same, we no fit compete ya. We know to compete, we know they meet ya. Shorty bring the drama, then believe we get the hits ya. Keep talking smack, man, we must pull you tit ya. Place just too tight, time we two don't they fit ya. Like my style, I hear they say I'm pretty. Drop it low, I am physically fit. So much love I put on for my city. Make them know me not born free to take. Where I'm from, I put on. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Hey, we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you with. Hey, where I'm from, I put on. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Hey, we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you with. Hey, where I'm from, I put on. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Hey, we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you with. Hey, where I'm from, I put on. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Hey, we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you with.
Speed 5 on the mix.
Thank you so much, Swadu. Definitely love the rap, and I hope as soon as, the smoke clears, the air clears, and COVID-19 is under control, you can definitely come to Jamaica and perform on stage. Well, next up, ladies and gentlemen, is a KC old boy. I know he's still basking in winning the Manning Cup and the Olivier Shield, and I gotta tell you, he is very informed and he knows exactly what he's talking about. He has had an outstanding record as a professor at the University of Technology and has had a major role in rolling out successful vaccine campaigns in Jamaica for over 40 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Professor Winston Davidson.
The history of public health in Jamaica explains why this small Caribbean nation of approximately 3 million people have successfully embraced a policy for over the past 40 years of compulsory mass immunization of children against the World Health Organization's what we refer to as notifiable diseases. This has advanced the well-being of the Jamaican children and has prevented them from suffering from many crippling and death-causing diseases. However, we can trace the struggle for these rights from the slave plantation system, a brutal and barbaric system and period of our history, when the absence of any access of our forefathers to any form of health care whatsoever is documented by public health records, which show that our forefathers has to satisfy with being treated in many instances by the veterinarians who treated the animals. And they were treated not in a hospital, not in a health center, because they didn't exist during the plantation system until pretty late. But they were treated by these vets in what was referred to as a hot house. In many cases, slaves were born, lived, worked, died, buried just like an animal without any documentation of any cause of death. And so between that period, the relentless struggle for health rights by our forefathers contributed to many slave uprisings in the Caribbean. So much so that at last in 1792, Britain, the colonial masters, passed what is referred to as the Consolidated Slave Act, called for the provision of medical facilities and the submission of medical reports from the colonies as to the numbers of slaves and the causes of death. This took place 134 years after the beginning of the slave trade. The point that is made here is that it has not been an easy road to reach the stage where we have eradicated all of the communicable diseases that are notifiable in the world, and where we are now confronted with a pandemic. And so, yes, we are the main drivers of our destiny. But yes, we have had persons of goodwill, decent men, decent institutions who have worked with us. Because we know that this pandemic, which we are now experiencing, cannot be won or overcome by the efforts of the Jamaican people alone in Jamaica. We need the cooperation of our neighbors. We need the cooperation of even those who have a legacy of colonial brutality and slavery. That is why the preventive measure which we have proven to have worked to give us our rights, that is the measure of the vaccination, is so entrenched in the psyche of the Jamaican people. And although we do not produce not even one vial of vaccine, we still, in the main, embrace the need to continue our compulsory vaccination program. We will see the fruits of our labor being manifested in no time. No one in the world can tell Jamaica about vaccinations. We have proven it for ourselves. As a preventive measure, it has assisted us in getting our health rights. These rights we will fight for. We will also ensure that our children continues this legacy.
Wow, guys, you see what I mean? Professor Davidson has rolled out several vaccines since the 1970s, and almost 99% of the people here in Jamaica have taken one of them. Just look at your hand and you see that little spot right there? Yes, your vaccination mark. Guys, remember when we couldn't go to school without the immunization card and everybody had to be immunized? Many of those vaccines have spared us from the wrath of sickness and even death, all right? So thanks to Professor Davidson and all the doctors and nurses who have worked assiduously over the years to give us the information that we need. He is one person that we can definitely say he was there, he was at the scene, so he can be regarded as somebody credible. Thank you so very much, Prof. I now have someone who will talk about what is happening in the Caribbean. She is the head of CARPHA, Dr. Joy St. Anne. She is our Barbadian sister. I would say big up to the BIM family, Barbados. Big up on herself, you know what I mean? Rihanna, Mia Motley, hello, Dame Sandra Mason. Barbados are going with big things, and the women are doing a big job and leading in a big way in BIM. Dr. Joy St. John.
Also supported the United States government donation of Pfizer, 4 million doses of adult Pfizer vaccine. And on the left, you see pictures of FedEx delivering vaccines to different countries. And we also had Caribbean collaboration through Caribbean Airlines and the Regional Security System Air Wing, which helped to deliver bulk quantities of ancillary kits containing needles, syringes, and diluent. So just a little bit about the equitable distribution. It has been not only for vaccines, but for several other things. And I think one of the things that has helped the Caribbean is our solidarity. The fact that we try to ensure that everyone gets what is needed, because it's all about equity in this fight against COVID-19.
Hello, my name is Angela Patterson, and I am the immediate past president of the Lions Club of New Kingston. Our club has taken pride in the number of large-scale projects we have undertaken where large crowds measured our success. Things like an annual health fair with over 500 persons, annual senior citizens luncheon where we fed over 100 persons. These were the kind of projects that we took pride in and enjoyed. COVID forced us to stop. Even our meetings, our regular club meetings, we have had to do those by virtual means. And so we've lost some of the personal interaction, the camaraderie. Yes, we can still meet, and we do, but it's just not the same. COVID has put paid to that. And so we want everybody to be vaccinated so we can get back to that time where we can meet each other, greet each other, do stuff with large numbers of persons. We have heard cases where depression has set in because of loneliness. People feel remote, they are not in touch with one another. And so we beg of you, get vaccinated. so that we can get back together, interact with each other, and fellowship with one another. Remember, vaccinate. Don't hesitate.
People, are you ready for some yard music? Are you ready for some Jamaican reggae dancehall music? Well, here is none other than Nadine Sutherland. Give her a hand, make some noise for Nadine. And when we come back, we'll go to some more from Africa.
Oh yeah. Action, not a bag of mouth. So we love to make the girl them broke out. Action, not a bag of mouth. So we love to make the girl them broke out. You think you are so fine? Bitch, I no work, your man, watch the time. Stop playing with my mind. Woman knowing a joke when she will want the wine. You call me on the phone when I were talking, angel come down. And now I want you home. I tell Jackie so she not use no phone. Action, not a bag of mouth. Sweet, loving me the girl them broke up. Action, not a bag of mouth. So we loving me the girl them broke up. I need some action, tender satisfaction. My chemistry is flowing. Can you cause a chain reaction? I need some action, tender satisfaction. My chemistry is flowing. Can you cause a chain reaction? Because a bedroom will she no want that you know. She want to make feel love her and go rub so. Man I'm a club too, man like a boy them a go. Man a ball in a agony all out. Her love inside you must be inside. Woman no one no man, we make she feel pain. Sweet loving in the falling rain. Sweet loving a mix up our brain. Action, not a bag of mouth. Sweet loving make the girl them broke up. Action, not a bag of mouth. Sweet loving make the girl them broke up. I need some action, tender satisfaction. My chemistry is flowing. Can you cause a chain reaction? I need some action, tender satisfaction. My chemistry is flowing. Can you cause a chain reaction? Because I bet room will she no want that you know. She want to make feel love her and go up so. Man I make love to my like a boy them a go. Man a body like a gun all up. I can love insane, you must be insane. Woman, no one a man who makes you feel pain. Feel loving in the falling rain. Feel loving a mix of our brain. Action, so we. Action, so we. I need some action, tender satisfaction. My chemistry is low. Can you cause a chain reaction? I need some action, tender satisfaction. My chemistry is low. Can you cause a chain reaction?
So from Jamaica to Africa, from Jamaica to the motherland, this time it's Nigeria, and our sister Tulumide is our featured artist.
Niger today, one time. Africa today, hey, two times. Niger today, hey, three times. Be by my side, my brother, my sister. Be by my side forever. Don't let me do you wrong, never. You let me talking about love.
Thank you so very much, ladies. Absolutely amazing. Lots of great talent. Thanks, Nadine. Thanks to Lumide. And I got to tell you, you've been here for a while. You're still rocking us. To Lumide, I know you want to come to Jamaica too. And so we need to organize something so we can have a Jamaica African link up with the beautiful ladies. I love that. Give them all a resounding round of applause. Our Jamaican people are very talented and all over the world in different spheres and occupy different positions, including some of the top positions in science, academia, government, and also in other areas. Well, it's not only Jamaicans or CARICOM brothers and sisters are all high achievers too. Our next speaker is one of them, Professor Swinburne Augustine. He hails from Dominica, migrated to the US as a young man, served in the armed services, and is one of the top research scientists in the country. Professor Swinburne, the floor is yours, sir.
It is a huge honor to be speaking to you today. As mentioned in my introduction, I am from Dominica. I'm currently a microbiology and immunology research scientist at the US EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and one of 6 scientists worldwide that make up the membership committee of the American Association of Immunologists, which is the global organization of experts in the study of the immune system. I'm also on the editorial and reviewer boards of some of the world's foremost scientific journals. To be clear, I'm speaking to you today in my personal capacity. I'm not here in my official capacity, and I'm not representing the US federal government or the US EPA. As we know, the world has been battling COVID-19 for more than 2 years now. More than 5.5 million people have died from the disease. Many more suffering from long COVID, a set of puzzling and potentially devastating conditions that continue long after one has recovered. The islands of the Caribbean are experiencing the public health and economic pain that comes with the virus, the deaths, the job losses, the fear. Will it ever end, we ask? I'm optimistic that the COVID-19 pandemic will end eventually, but that depends on our behaviors as individuals and as communities. To be clear, we may never completely eradicate COVID-19, and we may have to live with it like we have to live with the flu. There is so much information in the public space regarding the virus, vaccination, prevention, and treatment that it can seem incredibly confusing. In fact, for many, it's difficult to tell fact from misinformation and disinformation. For example, I've heard some version of the following statement many times when discussing vaccination. They say that the fundamental thing is that whether you're vaccinated or not, you can still catch and spread the virus. That statement is misleading. The data show that healthy, fully vaccinated people are less likely to experience severe symptoms leading to hospitalization and death. And that, my Caribbean people, is the whole point, to stay alive while we find a way to rid ourselves of this pestilence. Mask mandates, social distancing, hand hygiene, and vaccination policies should not be confused with scientific research. Although these policies are driven by scientific data, the policies themselves are not science. Think of it this way. The scientist designs and conducts the experiments, the research, the data is analyzed, reviewed, and published. A range of recommendations are made from worst to best. Public health officials and experts determine the best course of action for their population. Government leaders take those recommendations and use them as they see fit. These policies need to be modified and changed as new data is gathered. SARS-CoV-2, like other RNA viruses, are prone to mutations which further add to that confusion. So my take-home message is this. Please get vaccinated as soon as possible. If not fully vaccinated, do so. Fully vaccinated people, please get your boosters. Please continue to follow masking, hand hygiene, and social distancing policies so that we can get through this horrible pandemic alive and stronger. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this program.
Now, some people have concerns about the vaccines. Let's look at some of these concerns. One question is, how was it prepared so quickly? And what people do not realize is that there was a research going on into coronavirus for years. When they had the SARS epidemic in 2003, that was due to a coronavirus that is a cousin of the current one. So they started to develop a vaccine for that. In 2012, when they had Mediterranean respiratory disease syndrome, that also stimulated further research. So they actually had a vaccine against the SARS coronavirus. In the lab, they had it ready. So when the Chinese scientists isolated and sequenced the virus that causes COVID, and they shared it with the scientific community, those companies that already had a trial vaccine for SARS, they just changed the coding and they could put it into animal studies right away, into clinical studies, and the US and some other European countries put a lot of money, the Gates Foundation, other foundations, put a lot of money into accelerating those trials and the research to bring the COVID vaccine to fruition in much quicker time than the traditional vaccines.
Some of the medication that we've been taking, guys, you know, we don't really do our research. We really don't even know about it. And so, yes, it is fine to have pertinent questions about the vaccine. And questions were made to be asked. But it's so important, guys, that we ask the right people so that we can be guided accordingly. Do your own research, but get your information from credible sources, from credible sites. Remember, in this day and age of the internet, everybody claims to be an expert. Everybody claims to be a know-it-all. Everybody has the answer. But guess what, guys? We must do our research and do so responsibly. We must put information and disseminate information, but do so responsibly. Yes, we can all have our opinion, but it ought to be grounded in some facts and some reality. We need to get the proper information so that we can make the best decisions. Right now, we're going to show you some video clips of what the man in the street think, what the man in the street has say, what the man on the ground has say, what the man in the street feel about the vaccines. Take a listen.
First of all, do you think that the COVID-19 is real?
Most certainly, it is real.
All right. Are you scared of taking the COVID-19 vaccine?
Not at all. I'm accustomed to that. We have had several vaccines before, and nothing happens from our early days in school, so I'm not afraid.
I would have taken the vaccine. I would take the vaccine rather, because if it is in the case that it can prevent me from being admitted or so forth, then yes, I would take it.
You know that virus is around all the time, you know, but this particular one is the most recent of all of them. It's no different from other viruses except this one is new to us, that's all. You know, so I'm just scared that even if it doesn't kill you, it could eventually have some effect upon your other organs in your body. I am willing to take the vaccine. It will help me from get severely ill or might even die from it.
Do you have enough information to make a decision about whether to take it or not to take it?
No,
or
sir.
Do you need more information?
No, sir, not as much information. So I would rather to wait some more time, that I can make up my mind whether to take it or not, with more information also. As this vaccine just come up on a rush, and all the government is saying, take the vaccine, and this vaccine done too quick. Vaccine supposed to take plenty of years before people can know about the vaccine.
heard from the man in the street, the authentic, real way, what they think and what are their thoughts. Did their thoughts reflect some of yours? Did their concerns reflect some of yours? All concerns are valid, and we're here to answer and try as best we can to ventilate the issues. Now, we can't leave out faith. Our anthem, Eternal Father, bless our land, that in and of itself is a prayer. Jamaica has more churches per square mile, more than anywhere else in the world. So faith is also very, very important and plays an integral role in our culture and our psyche. However, there are some people who will use the same Bible to lead people astray and to exploit people. So we have to be very careful that we're not just interpreting the Bible how we see fit, but we're interpreting the Bible properly. The Lord help those who help themselves. Knock and it shall be open. Ask and it shall be given. Everybody has a different faith. Everybody may have a different God. But guess what? Reverend Newton Dixon, former president of the Jamaica Council of Churches, is here. So let's take a listen to what he has to say.
I'm the Reverend Newton Dixon, and I belong to the African Methodist Episcopal Church, and I'm the immediate past president of the Jamaica Council of Churches. I'm going to start off by declaring that I'm vaccinated. Among the wonderful gifts which God has blessed us with is the gift of science. The benefits of science have been incredible and invaluable in aiding our quality of life. Science helps us to understand our world. Science helps us to live wisely in the world. Science helps us to be productive. So as people of faith, we have a confidence in science which is based on the fact that we believe it is a gift from God. So think about it. What would life be like without cell phones or motor vehicles or buildings, all of which are the products and benefits of science? Well, one of the gifts of science, one of the benefits of science is medical science. And one of the benefits of medical science is vaccinations. So why then have we departed from this idea that vaccines are good? Suspicions and outright untruths. We must start thinking using wisdom, God-given wisdom, and God-given reason. So instead of us exercising what we continue to claim as our right to choose, which we do have, let us think about our right, the imperative to protect each other, not just to think of ourselves. We do have rights, but we also have responsibilities. Let's think about the other person. How will my action affect the other? This is in keeping with Jesus' command. Love your neighbor as yourself. So I implore everybody, those of faith and those outside of faith, to take vaccines because it is efficacious, it works, and there is no connection between some diabolical conspiracy to kill us or to impair our health and the vaccines. I am Newton Dixon, and I am vaccinated.
Peace of God cover me, yeah. Peace of God cover me, cover me, cover me, oh yeah. Peace of God cover me through the storm, cover me. Let's do that again. Peace of God cover me, cover me, cover me, oh yeah. Peace of God cover me through the storm, cover me. 'Cause only I am hurting. Cover me when I'm not strong. Cover me when I am going through the storm. Cover me when all seems hopeless. Cover me when my faith is gone. Let the peace that passes all I understand. Cover me, cover me, oh cover me, oh Lord, cover me. Cover me, Lord, cover me, yeah. Oh, if only in you I am safe, and only in you I'm secure. Only in you I find peace. So cover me with your unending peace. Oh, only in you I am strong, huh. And only in you I am healed. Only in you I find peace. So cover me, cover, cover, cover me, cover me, ha, cover me, Lord, cover me, cover, cover, cover me, cover me, yes, Lord, cover me, yeah. Cover me, cover me.
I'm Claudio Van Camper, District Governor of Lions Club International Sub-District 60B, which comprises of 20 English-speaking islands of the Caribbean, spanning from Grand Cayman and Jamaica in the north to Barbados in the south. I'm honored to be part of this major and significant health event. Lions Club International is a global leader in community and humanitarian service. Our mission is service. Lions and Leos have stepped up to serve our communities safely during this pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a tremendous, unexpected impact on our world. It caused divisions, yet brought families together. It's an undeniable fact that everyone knows someone who has been affected by the pandemic, directly or indirectly. My friends, I encourage you to continue to be guided by the invaluable information provided by the health experts. Maintain a healthy lifestyle. We have a responsibility to each other. Our actions today can save a life tomorrow. I urge you to make the choice today to help improve the health and well-being of our loved ones and your community. Let us show the world that we care. Be safe. Vaccinate. Don't hesitate. I thank you.
That we gotta pass through. We have got a destiny we must get to. So why some people them a try to change the destiny of others? But me no say that my life is in you. Nobody can stop me now. Them go fly when will be a Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. Rastafarian, Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. Rastafarian. Woo! You know ever do me. That's why I can trust in everything you do. You're so generous. The credibility, you got it. The way you fight for me no doubt it. Daddy, daddy, me no doubt it. Daddy, 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 me no doubt it. Me never gonna see no misery, 'cause I'm a radical for you. When they try to catch me, below the way you boom, the line me see them run. But go fly when they try to catch me, below the way you boom, the eye me see them run. For you will be the Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. Rastafarian, Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. Rastafarian. Me love the way you said to things that hold me ground. No evil comes around my face because you're always all around. For you will be the radical, yeah. For you will be the radical. For you will be the radical, radical, radical. Then go fly when they try to catch me. Me love the way you boom the line, me see them run. Then go fly when they try to catch me. Me love the way you boom the line, me see them run. For you will be a Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. For you will be the Rastafarian. Rastafarian, Rastafarian. For you will be the Rastafarian. For you will be the Rastafarian. For you will be a Rastafarian. Rastafarian. Woo! Go! Do you say, do you say, do you say, ooh yeah, do you say, do you say, do you say, we gotta pass through. We got a destiny we must get to. Why some people them a try to change the destiny of others? But me no sit down alive, it's in you. But me no sit down alive, it's in you. Rastafarian. You Rastafarian. You Rastafarian. Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Shirley Morgan, co-president of the University of the West Indies Alumni Association, Florida.
Greetings. My name is Ferdinand Fortune. I am the president of the University of the West Indies Alumni Association, UWIAA Toronto chapter.
My name is Barbara Brissett, president of the University of the West Indies Alumni Association in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area.
Good evening. I'm Lawrence Jackson, treasurer of the New York chapter of the University of the West Indies Alumni Association. As part of our thrust to make meaningful impact on our community, we are encouraging everyone to take the vaccines and use masks to prevent the spread of COVID-19. We cannot be helpless victims of this pandemic when we have seen the evidence that vaccination helps to save lives.
If there's one lesson to be learned about this COVID-19 pandemic, it is that it does not differentiate between peoples and countries. Therefore, despite our own differences and having regard to our own personal social, family, and community lives, I respectfully ask for your own sake to stay awake and to vaccinate, and don't hesitate.
Once you've been vaccinated, you have the upper hand against the virus, because it means that even if you're exposed, you won't be seriously ill. Don't hesitate. Vaccinate.
To protect yourself and your family. Vaccinate. Don't hesitate.
So, don't hesitate. It is not too late. Vaccinate.
Down the road, down the road, yeah. Down the road, down the road. Where we going? 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 Down the road.
Ready to bet, soaking wet, drinking rum and brandy, whiskey too.
Down the road, down the road.
Hold on your man, you have a plan. Show him that you really ain't command.
Down the road, down the road.
Just hold on by your man and walk up till he start to sweat. And if he tell you anything, say you ain't ready yet. Just hold on by your man and walk up till he start to sweat. And if he say anything, you ain't ready yet. Where we going?
Down the road.
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 Yeah, man. Just hold on by your girl and grab she tight around she waist. And if she tell you anything, that tell she what she waist. Just hold on by your girl and grab she tight around she waist. And if she say anything,
tell she keep it best.
Where we going?
Down the road.
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 Show them how we do we thing, and shock them when we whine and sing. Show them how to jump and ting. You ready?
I ready. We ready, ready, ready.
Where we going?
Down the road.
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 We heading down to Spring Garden where we just do we thing. They coming back to Eastern Park where we jump and sing. We heading down to Spring Garden where we just do we thing. We coming back to the park
where we jump and sing.
Where we going?
Down the road.
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 Ready to bet, soaking wet, drinking rum and brandy, whiskey too.
Down the road. Down the road.
Hold on your man, you have a plan. Show him that you really ain't command.
Down the road. Down the road.
Just hold on by your man and walk up till he start to sweat. And if he tell you anything, say you will finish yet. Just hold on by your man and walk up till he start to sweat. And if he say anything, you ain't ready yet. Where we going?
Down the road.
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 Where we going? Down the road.
Greetings. I am Dr. Morais, a medical doctor in practice, family practice for the past 38 years. I'm also a member of parliament. I sit in the Parliament of Jamaica, and I'm also the shadow spokesman on health and wellness in Jamaica. We are now at 2 years since COVID-19 has affected our people here in Jamaica. In fact, it was on March 10, 2020 that we identified the first case of COVID-19 in Jamaica. Over the ensuing 2 years, we have had over 120,000 official cases of COVID positive, and we have also unfortunately had over 2,800 deaths. Every one of us have known someone who has died from COVID-19, and we are seeing that with the public health measures such as mask wearing, such as physical distancing and proper hygiene, we have been able as a people to work together to fight during this pandemic so that our numbers are lower now. But it has not been without a cost. because many areas of our economy and our society have impacted or have negatively been affected by COVID-19 due to the fact that there are many people out there who have been collectively called anti-vaxxers. We are now seeing a resistance to people getting vaccinated with the COVID-19 vaccines. 95% of the persons who are admitted to hospital for COVID-19 are unvaccinated persons. So there's clear evidence from the science that if you are vaccinated, you're less likely to develop COVID, or if you do develop COVID-19, you're less likely to develop the severe complications that would require you to be admitted. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is my plea to you, it is my utmost desire that we listen to what has been happening, distill the facts from fiction, and recognize that we are here on a mission to protect ourselves, to protect our lives, and to protect loved ones. The simple plea, go and get vaccinated. Not because we are hearing that the pandemic is almost at an end, but simply because new strains are coming up. I have been in the medical profession for 38 years, and I think I have seen enough of disease to understand that we can fight it and we can come out ahead of it, as medical science has always done.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was definitely a pleasure being here. I am your Queen Diva, Miss Kitty. And please guys, remember to wear your masks, remember to social distance, remember to sanitize, and if you're so inclined, please go and get your vaccine. Stay safe, take care of yourselves and each other, big up your nice clean self, and when in doubt, just always boss up Miss Kitty Blank. La 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 la. Take care guys, bye, love you all. Mwah.